don't go to Ben.
As one of the older guys in the room, how do you think that age and experience that a lot of guys in the secondary house is going to play to your guys' benefit this season?
Yeah, I mean, having a lot of experience in that room, myself included, it helps any team. You know what I mean? Having guys who have gone out there and have seen these things before, have already had the type of experience of dealing with certain things out there. Already, the playbook is something that we've already instilled in us. Having guys with that type of experience, you just go out there and just play football. That's what it all comes down to. So, having a room like that where you don't have to coach all the little things, you can just go out there and play. Have each other's backs and go out there and do what's really important. That helps everybody.
Warren, just how tough was it for you not to be out there last season, especially since your injury was pretty early in the year, and just how would you assess kind of how you bounced back and where you are in fall camp right now?
Yeah. I mean, that was tough, being out, sitting out. But being able to watch my guys, ball out, do what they need to do, man, it wasn't a better feeling than that, man. But I'm a firm believer, man, you can't truly appreciate something until you know what it's like to go without it. So, having that moment where, you don't get to play the game that you love to play, it just makes you want to come back even more. So, you bring that energy. There's always, those days where you're not feeling as much. You remember times like that where you didn't even have the opportunity to come out here and be on the field. So, it makes you appreciate the moment, take it one step at a time, and enjoy it.
Patrick and then Paige.
Or you've been working at Star in camp. How did that move kind of come about, and has that been a new challenge for you? If your guy fighting the defense in and out.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily new because it's an expectation that every DB in there knows how to play all 5 spots. So I wouldn't really say it's a new thing, but it was be able to have a new experience, be able to actually go out there and do it. So it's cool, man. It's fun to be able to do something a little different. The technique's a little switched up. It's a little different, but it's a good time to just be able to go out there and just play DB, man. DB's DB. See the guy, match the guy. That's it.
Paige.
Kind of going off an earlier question with your injury, your junior year, you posted your career high season there. A lot of expectations going into your senior year. With that injury, though, how are you kind of hoping to build off of that coming into this season, maybe living up to those expectations from last year?
Yeah. Only things I gotta live up to is expectations for myself that I set for myself, and for me that's just as I said before, it's appreciating where I'm at and taking things one step at a time. You know what I mean? Like the season, the things you want out of the season starts right now. The outcome starts with the income and what you do every day. So it's not really about focusing on the things the goals that you set as much. It's more so of doing the things that are necessary in order to complete those goals. So it's kind of just locking in and doing those little things every day. And because of that, I'll get the results I want.
A lot of guys, including yourself in the secondary, have played a lot of games, made a lot of starts.
Mm-hmm.
How can game experience make you better in ways that practice can't?
It makes you better because it's the real thing. It's the real war. You can practice as much as you want to, get good at things you want to, but having that experience of being out there, because practice it's music playing. We got noise there, but Neyland Stadium, that's 102,000 fans screaming. You can barely hear the guy next to you. So being able to be out there and having the experience of knowing to communicate when it's hard to communicate, and working through the tired, working through things, pushing through, straining. Those are game rep experiences that are important to us. And the fact that we have that in the room, man, it's a really good thing.
We got Austin, Wes, and then Casey.
Ask this again. You got some young guys in that room. As an older guy, who's impressed you? Who stood out? Whether it be the approach on or off the field.
Man, it's one of those situations, man. It's hard to pick one because these guys, man, these young guys, they came in ready to play, man. These guys, you can tell they love football. You can tell that they appreciate the experience, man, and they want to be better. They want to be the best that they can be. So, those guys, Rick, Jordan, Christian, that's just the corners, but there's way more. But those guys I'm gonna speak to, man, they've been taking every day and growing, learning in every way possible. They've been trying to turn their weaknesses to strengths, man, and they really just been learning of what it's like to be a DB at the University of Tennessee, and the standard that we're trying to set, what we're trying to create here, and, man, those guys are doing nothing but pushing us forward, so we appreciate them.
Gabe mentioned that Christian had really improved from spring to now.
Yeah.
Do you see that, and where do you see that?
Yeah. He's improved a lot. You know, like that's one guy. Like you come in, everybody, you know, the freshman mentalities were like you gotta. It's almost like a anxious feeling where you feel like you gotta know everything at once. You gotta be ready the first practice, first time you step out there. But you know, these guys, they're like Christian, man. He's taking the process. And you know what I mean. He's one of those guys, man. He's finding what his weaknesses are and what he needs to improve on, and he's working on those things day by day. He's enjoying the process rather than just trying to get to the destination fast. You know what I mean. So that's a good thing, man. When you focus on the steps, man, you'll get what you want. So he's been doing that.
West, Casey, and we'll finish with them.
Warren, was there a point in your career here where you think you really kind of understood that cornerback mentality or grew into it? Because no matter, you know, what level you're playing at, no matter how good you are as a corner, you get beat sometimes. That's just part of it. Learning to deal with that and move on from that, is that something that you've learned since you've been here, or did you arrive with that?
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Honestly, it's one of those things I learned when I got here. Fortunately for me, you know, I was on the field early. I got to experience things early, you know, during my freshman year, man. I got to know what that feels like and get those experiences, you know, being thrown in the fire, you know, as young as I was, man. It was good for me, you know, to be able to know how to handle those type of situations and to know what really makes a good corner, because you know, corner, everybody comes to see the touchdowns, man. That's what everybody wants to see. So, you know, embracing that role, you know, being that guy who, you know, people want to see you get bombed on. People want to see, you know, these type of things. So learning to embrace that role, learning to, you know, if you fall, get back up. It's part of the game. You know, learning those type of things was something that I got to do at a young age. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Casey?
What differences do you see in Andre turning time from last fall camp to this fall camp? How he's improved as a player and a person within this program?
Man, Dre is one of those guys, man. He come to work every day, man. He is the same guy. He's gonna hustle to the ball. He's gonna give you what he got every time. So he's one of those guys where you appreciate just him being around, because you know just his presence kind of makes the room better, because you see him hustle. Okay, I better hustle too. You see him work to do this. Okay, I better do the same thing. It's one of those guys, man. He leads by example. So the future's only bright for him. You know, the things that he's been doing, that he's continuing to do, man, it's only up for him.
Okay, last question.
Warren, how different is it going up against Joe this fall camp compared to his first fall camp 2 years ago?
Yeah, Joe, man. Joe, we all know who Bazooka Joe is, man. We already know what he can do. So I can't really say that anything that he does is a surprise, because we've been seeing it for a while. But you know, with his improvements, I can't really speak on like what the quarterback position entails on our team. But you know, I assume, you know, it's like different keys and, you know, reading defense, being more detailed in what he sees. So, but as far as what I've seen, man, he's been great. He is nobody I would trust more, you know, holding that quarterback spot in Joe. So he doing his thing, man.
Thanks, Warren.